blessed Sunday in the mighty name of Jesus. And if you have not said it already, let's say it together. Thank you, Jesus. Whew. Thank him, y'all, for another day. It's a blessing to be alive. Yes, it is. Thank him for another day. Every day I wake up, I say it. I know I say it. I don't know how many times I say it, but I want to say it all day if I could. But, you know, God, he knows and sees our heart. But it's just, I can't express how thankful I am to be alive. I can't express how thankful I am that he's changed me, continues to change me. It's just a blessing, it really is. And when you come into that, the knowing, you know, when you're in his word, when you're reading his word, when you're praying, you're fasting, you come into a lot of wisdom. A wisdom that you can't get from no class, no college. You can't get that from there. You can't get that from what your mama, your daddy told you, your grandmama, your cousin. You get that from Jesus. It comes from him. It's holy wisdom. But I'm so thankful I am. And I just pray that everybody's having a beautiful, blessed Sunday, and whatever time it is when you watch this video. God is so good. The Almighty God in heaven, he's so good to us all. We sure don't deserve it, but he keeps on blessing us. He keeps on blessing us every day. So, yeah, as always, I'm headed to worship service. I'm running late. I'm gonna start back running late again, y'all. Pray for me. Pray with me. Been doing really good, and I'm up. I'm ready. It's all of that, but I start fiddling around. You know, where's this? Where's that? When I should just get everything together, which I pretty much do. I get everything together at night. I mean, I know what I'm gonna wear and all that. So it's not that. It's just I was doing good for 3 Sundays straight. I was doing so good. I was proud of myself. But I'm gonna get it back. I'm gonna get that winning streak back. But there was a lady. She was walking with a walker. I think it was last Sunday, and she was someone. I think someone brings her to church, and I don't know if they come with her. If they come to church with her, or they come back and pick her up, I don't know. But I just always see her getting out the car. So I ran and opened the door for her or whatever last Sunday, and she said, "Oh, so I'm late," or something. She uttered, and I said, "You made it though. You here?" And she's like, "Yeah." So I always try to reassure people. I'm like, "But you here? Don't focus on the because that's what the enemy wants to." He wants you to say, "Oh, I'm late. I missed something," and then from there it goes into a lot of negativity. But no, you here, and God is glad that you are here, that you did make it. At least you persevere, and you made it to His house when other people had no desire to. So that's what I was. Trying to get across to her. And I've had to say it to quite a few people, like, you here, you made it. Don't be ashamed, you running late, you made it. So that's all that matters. So all of us have things that we, dealing with and need to do better. We all can stand to be better. And be better in Jesus, most mainly. But I always try to, like I said, I like to encourage people. I don't like to, oh yeah, you get in there, you missed, blah, that's somebody negative saying, yeah, you missed a few parts of the service. No, I would never do that, say that. You say encourage somebody, because we all need encouragement, we do. So yeah, I'm headed there. I have probably about less than 15 more minutes to go, because like I said, we live a little farther than what we were living when we lived with the lady from church. So of course she lived literally across the street from the church. And when I found that out, I was like, wow, because when we were looking to move in with her, I was like, you are super close to the church. Because when we moved in with her, before we moved in with her, we were about the same distance we are now from the church, because we sort of still almost in the same area, but not quite. But she said, yeah, and like I said, that's why I was walking. Y'all, I just think about all of that. I know I keep bringing it up, but God is so good. I'm reminiscing. I'm looking back to see how far I see how far He's brought me. I see it with my own eyes, and it's a long way. It's a long way, and I'm thankful for that. But we were, oh my gosh, I was walking to church, and I remember that phone call. My son, my youngest son, he said, Mama, he said, she got you walking to church, because they young, they whatever. And I said, they wanted to tip for tap. I said, no. I said, son, I said, it's okay. I said, Mama, okay. I said, and I even put some positivity on it. I said, well, I'm not that far from church, so it's not like it's a long walk. But y'all, I would, I think about what someone said at my job in management, and he was noticing me, and I, he said you persevered, you went through so much, so graceful. And I'm like, ooh, you didn't see me all them nights I was crying, tears, pillow wet with tears, every night, some nights, every night, and praying, fasting. You would never see that, because that was between me and God. But that's what I wanted to tell him. But I was like, wow, people are paying attention to you and watching you more than you know. But going back to my son, so he was like, yeah, why she got you walking? And that sort of bothered him, And I said, it's okay. I said, Mama needs to learn how to stand on her own, And when I think back on it, y'all, in actuality, I actually needed her to do that, not help me, because I was becoming, same thing. I was wanting a crutch, like I was wanting when my late husband was living, needing somebody to help me all the time. And the Lord said, you strong enough, do it. You do what you need to do. But I was very, when we first moved in, I was feeling some type of way. And I was not depressed, but I was very down. I was low. I'm gonna say I was low in spirit when we moved in with her, because, I was just felt like, okay, I'm trying to do what I think, but that was the operative word, trying to do what I thought was best. And when this other lady from church, she told me, because she was on, I've told the story before, but she was wanting to know why weren't you at church today? Because then I was at church every Sunday. I still am, but they were just so used to seeing me and stuff, because we were new, and I was new in being a greeter. And she said, where were you today? And I told her, you don't want to know. And she said, no, tell me. And so that's how it all started with, she knew that lady, and this, that, and the other. It went on like that. But that Sunday, and I should have pushed on. I should have went on to church that Sunday, but I didn't go, because we had to meet a lady to look at an apartment and another condo. And that condo, y'all, it was not only not unclean, but it was super small, 1 bedroom. And me and that lady had talked. But see, I'm sharing this because, y'all, we try to do stuff our way, and God he was creating a miracle for us, even in this time. While I was all over the place and making bad decisions, he was making things happen. So, I've been reminded over and over for the past few days, just because you don't see God working physically, that don't mean he ain't working. That does not mean that don't mean he ain't working. He's working on our behalf behind the scenes. So trust him. He know what he's doing. He's been doing it for a long time. He real good at what he do. But answering prayer. But yeah, I was like, because I was, and see, I was still on that, man gonna help me, man gonna get me out this situation. Because that lady, me and her was on the phone. That's when we were in that extended stay hotel. That's when I was talking to her. So we had to go to one more hotel before I was gonna meet this other lady, who we moved in with. We had one more hotel to go to. But when we were in the extended stay, which was super expensive, but we needed a place to live. That lady, she was, it seemed like she was just going, I said, ooh, she gonna bless us. Me and her talked, on that phone, y'all, I know we talked for almost 2 hours that night. And even my youngest son, he said, Mama, sound like we got the place. And the place that she had was, I think it was somewhere in Denver or something. But I was just so, but then she said, no, I got another place, because she had a few properties. She was divorced and seemed like just a nice, genuine lady. And me and my youngest daughter went and met her. The condos were nice. The condos were. But the one she had was it was just small. And it wasn't clean, not how I wanted it to be clean. And I'm like, okay, who is this for? And then I'm thinking, okay, we got our puppy, it's me, and it's 4 of us total. How in the world we gonna make this work? But at the time, my youngest daughter was getting ready to go back, when she's getting ready to start school, just in a few months or so. So I was like, well, it'll just be 3 people and a dog. But I was like, it still ain't enough room. It still ain't gonna be enough. No, still ain't gonna work. And so I was just trying to, in my mind, make it work. I'm like, okay, this can this possibly? No, it can't work at all, because it wasn't meant to be. But and then she wanted all this money. I mean, it was just nothing about that. God was not in that at all. No, she wanted all that money, and it took us from that hotel. It took me and my daughter, I think that was like a 45-minute drive. And then I started thinking about, okay, how am I gonna get to work? Because it was a long way from my job, and then I was thinking, it was just too much. Because, at that time, me and my son was carpooling. And I'm like, we gonna have to get up super duper early to even get me to work. And then so he can get to work. And then, no, it's just, no. So, y'all, I just think back on that, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then, but God brought it all back home, because, brought us to our home, because we had to meet this lady from the church. And we had to, deal with her for 3 months, and live with her, and this, that, and the other, while Jesus continued to work on our miracle for us. And I'm gonna share that when the time is right, when he allows me to. I keep saying I shared a portion of it when we first moved in this place, but it was nothing but a miracle. That's all it was. And I feel like he's okay with me sharing how it all came about. But I just thank him. I really do, from the bottom of my heart, because but at the same time, I'm not bragging. I'm all glory, honor, and praise to Jesus. But I still was going to church. I still was praising him. It was a lot of Sundays I would sit and I'm like, okay, Lord, because I see all the people getting in their cars. And once upon a time, at that time I had a car. I used to have a car. And even the lady we lived with, I was like, gosh, I don't even have a car. And then I started feeling some type of way when I took my daughter, when I drove her to Chicago. I went to Chicago when she first started school last year. And I was, when I was in that rental car, ooh, that felt good, y'all. Because I'm like, I have a car again. I'm driving again. Which I was driving my my youngest son's car, but that's not my car. But he's like, Mama, you can. But then, of course, he's 24, but it started getting where, he would have to stay over at work late, and it was just, I was like, he was like, Mama, we need another car. We need, if it's just a get around car, we need another car, he said, because, some days I have to work late, and, you need to go somewhere or whatever. And I said, yeah, I know, son. But, at the time, we were not able to, God was like, if you just be patient with me, I'm doing something here. And he worked a miracle for that too. But we just got to trust him. And God, like I said, God, I say this all the time, y'all, but it's so true. And it's reigned so true in my life. We got to quit depending on man to do for us what only God can do. Man can only do what God tell him to do, or what God allow him to do. We always want to run to man. Well, and on jobs or whatever the case is, we got to quit doing that, because God is like, what about me? I'm the Holy One. I'm the one that is the reason you breathing. I'm the reason that you alive. Why you running to your boss at work? Why you? And then now that I think about on a lot of stuff, that's why a lot of people look at you like, and you like, why they don't even care? It's not that they don't care, genuinely care. It's like they like looking at you like, why are you telling me that? And this lady here at the church, she had said that to me, and at first I was in my feelings, y'all, because I'm like, why she say that to me? But now I understand that was God speaking through her. She said, because I kept talking about sounding like a broke record about I didn't have a car. And she said, well, some stuff you got to take to God. And I was like, oh. So, and she was right. She was right in what she said. But I was like, that's just not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted to hear at that particular time. And she tried to help us. Help me. She gave me some email from some lady, and told me the woman's husband had a car dealership or something. And I emailed the lady, or sent the email about, hey, I'm, told her my name and all that. Never heard nothing. And I'm like, was that a real email? But again, God blocked it because it wasn't meant to be. He's like, nope, you depending on man again. You keep on depending on man. And I'm doing something here. What about what I'm doing? That's another thing. We got to wait. We got to wait on God. We get in such a hurry, and that's how we mess up everything. So, y'all, I done made it to church. I'm going to get in here. It's cool this morning, y'all. I'm cold natured. They got the doors open to the church, but it's cold to me. But a lot of people like this type of weather when it's cool like this, but I'm always cold. But I pray you all have a beautiful, blessed day in the mighty name of Jesus. I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye. Hello, my YouTube family and friends. I pray that everyone is having a beautiful, blessed Sunday in the mighty name of Jesus. And I'm just getting out of church, y'all. Well, I'm not just getting out of worship service. We've been out of worship service about, an hour and a half ago. But, of course, I was doing what I always do. Standing around talking to a church member. And we had a really nice fellowship. She's a sweet lady. And she was like, we got to get together. And we always, just to give you a little background, we always hug. We've been hugging ever since she see me in the morning as I'm greeting. We just been hugging. We just hug, we hug. And so we always call it, I say, yeah, it's time for the injection. So, I'm referring to the love, hugging. And so anyway, we just been doing that. And she's just a sweet lady. She's older than me, but her brother, he attends, he goes to the church too. But we just have the best little talks, and what got it going today, we always talk about the Lord, but we were we're super chatty after church today. And usually after church, she'll say, okay, let me just get one more hug. And so, because we're not going to see each other till the next week. And so I said, yeah, of course. And so today, instead of just the hugging, we started talking. And we started talking at the door, or the doors of church right there. And then it went on into outside. And then outside, we ended up talking for an additional, I guess we were right there an hour or so, I don't know. But it was such a blessing, it really was. I love talking to people who talk sensible. I love people who have good conversation, because everybody don't have no good conversation. And some people you talk to, well, some people, I'm going to talk about myself. And some people I've been talking to, or end up, the conversation is over, and I'm like, what were we talking about again? Because I'm confused. Because it's it was just no good conversation there. It was just jibber jabber for them, She is really a blessing, and I was sharing with her how the Lord, the 4 things that He's shown me that He's working with me on in my life, which is fear, anger, lust, and pride. And she said I needed to hear that, because she was saying, I forget which ones, but she said she's dealing with that, similar to that. And I said, yeah. I said, God is so faithful. I said, when we ask Him to reveal things to us, that's why we're going to be without excuse on Judgment Day. A lot of people say, well, God, He never heard my cry. He never answered. Yeah, He heard. He listening. He watching you, and He listening to you. But He also know when you're truly crying out to Him, and you truly want to be changed by Him. Not just saying it and then going back into your sin. And today, the pastor was talking about today. Y'all. Every Sunday, it gets more and more confirmed that the reason I'm at this church. So he was talking about today how, the story of David and Bathsheba, and how David, fell into his sin, and, all of that. You know the story. Or if you don't, it's in the Bible. But how, I forget the name of the message, was A Broken Prayer. That was the name of the message today. But, he was also referencing how he said, we come to church and we look good. We got our Bible in our hand. We walk and talk like we just look good. And I can so relate to that, because that's what I was, that's what I used to do. Just faking it. Just not walking in so much sin, walking in so much, I thought I was fooling others, but I was fooling myself. That's who I was fooling. And I sure wasn't fooling the Lord. But anyway, he was saying how, we come to church and say we already thinking about how we're going to sin. We already thinking about what we're going to do after church. He said some of y'all may be thinking about what you're going to be drinking after you get out of church. You're going back to the same stuff that you're asking the Lord in this moment, in church, when you go to church. Help me, Lord. But you're not letting it go. And he was saying true repentance is not wanting to having a desire to do that anymore. That's how you truly been changed, where you don't even want to do that no more. You don't even want to, like me. I don't want to ever. I don't want to go back to fornicating. God has delivered me from that. Why would I want to do that again? I know I know how it made me feel. I know that's not what God has for my life. So why would I want to go back to that? And then that's when people come in my life, even now, and they're making light of that subject, and they're saying, oh, it's nothing wrong with, living. And no, you're exactly right. There's not nothing wrong with living. But what's wrong is sinning while we living. That's what's wrong. So again, people want to we want to make up our own rules, because we want to do what we want to do. And like I said, when you come to the knowledge, it's something that says, or it was someone's message. It said, when you come to the end of yourself, that's where you'll meet Jesus, because you say, okay, Lord, I'm yours, and we're His anyway. He created us. But I'm saying, when you surrender to Him and truly surrender, truly give your life to Christ, that's when you're gonna walk into everything that He has for you. You're gonna walk into everything, whether it's beautiful, whether it ain't beautiful, but you're gonna walk into everything, and everything that He has for you is beautiful anyway. But what I'm saying, I'm referencing, you're not gonna always have the best days. You're gonna have some ups and downs, but you're gonna have Him walking with you, so you're gonna be okay. But yeah, I love that how God is speaking through these pastors at this church, because they are truly teaching the holy word of God. It ain't no sugarcoat. It ain't no and if you at this church, I'm bragging on the Lord. If you at this church and you still have a desire to sin, you still want to go out and fornicate, you still want to go drink, that's between you and God. But they bringing the word. They are truly bringing the word to us every Sunday, and you can tell they study their word. You can tell that they that they not getting up there winging it. They truly read, they studying their word, the word that God has given them. They studying it, and they know it. But I'm just so thankful, y'all. I love it when God, I always ask Him, I said, Lord, and the pastor was just talking about that. He said, ask the Lord to use you. And that's what that's my prayer every Sunday. Not every Sunday, every day. I pray to Him. I said, Lord, just use me. Use me as you see fit for your holy kingdom. And He do it every time, y'all. He do it every time. And, I was telling her, I said, we have to get out of our own way. We don't want to disrupt our schedule. We don't want to, we're trying to hurry up and get out of work. Leave out of work. I'm ready to go home, or I'm ready to leave church. I got to do this. What do you have to do what do you have to do that's more important than Jesus? Spreading His word or witnessing about Him. What I'm waiting. What's more important to Him? And that's what I was telling her. I said, I told her, I'm sorry, you did say you had somewhere to go. She said, oh, I'm okay. Because we were just ministering to each other. We were witnessing, and we were talking about, mainly we were uplifting the holy name of Jesus. But it's so important, y'all. It's so important. You got people right around you. They need to be encouraged. She needed to be encouraged, and I sure needed to be encouraged, But again, we get into, we own these schedules, and we deem ourselves so important. I got to do this. I got to do that. You don't have to do anything but serve the Lord and serve Him in spirit and in truth. That's all you got. That's all you have to do. But I just really enjoyed that. Me and her talking, and she was telling me she's off tomorrow too. But we had just a beautiful conversation, and both of us kept switching our Bible bags and stuff, but we wanted to talk more, even though we were standing up on our feet all that time, but we were still wanting to talk more and more, because she was telling me the stuff she's gone through. I was telling her the same, and it was just a blessing. It really was. It was a blessing. But y'all, I'm at Walgreens. I'm going to go in here and get, we need some more bathroom tissue. I'm going to see if they have it on sale. If they don't, I'm not getting it, because it's been $5 and the second one half off. So I may get that if it's still on sale. And then we need 2 more cases of water. So I'm gonna run in here and get that, and then I still have to go. I need to stop at the Dollar Tree because I wanted to pick up a few things there, but now that I'm thinking about it, I may not. I'm trying to think, it was something that I really wanted to get from the Dollar Tree. I can't think of what it is right now. But anyway, I may not do that. I may not stop there. I may just, after I do this, I may head on home. But I will be back. Okay, I'm back, y'all. This Walgreens is crowded today. I don't know what's going on today, but they they a little busy today. Normally, when I come here after church, it's rather empty, but it's weird because the cars that's in the parking lot don't match the people that's inside. So I don't know. Maybe those people that work there or something. I don't know. But anyway, it was easy. It was quick in and quick out. I love that part. But yeah, me and her, as I was stating before I had to go in Walgreens, I don't think I'm gonna go to Dollar Tree. I think I'm gonna go on home because my daughter just called me, Mom, where you at? Because they know about the time I'm supposed to get home from church. They know. So I say, yeah, I've been talking, of course. So they always check on me, which I appreciate that. But they know how their mom is, and that's why I was telling that lady that I was talking to. I was telling her, I said, my late husband, he used to always say, why you gotta be the last one out of the church? And I said, I can't help. I just can't help. I like to talk. I love talking to people. I'm sorry for being so nice. But he would always say that to me. And it was true. Because I would look around and I was telling her the church we go attend here is way bigger than the church we came from in Tennessee. But I was telling her, I said, that was true. I would look around and everybody be gone. They would literally be gone. And I'm like, where did everybody go? So, that was the truth. He wasn't telling any lies there. No lies there. But I was gonna go somewhere, but I'm gonna go on home. But anyway, thank you, Lord. Yeah, we was laughing about that. And so she was sort of saying she's the same way because she likes to talk too. I said, but it's nothing wrong with talking about Jesus. There's nothing wrong with that. But like I said, we get in such a hurry. We want to. A lot of people, I've said this before. Their checklist. They, okay, I went to church today, and like that pastor was saying this morning, the list, the check, the box has been checked. They went to church. I showed up, and a lot of times there's no change there. Because they're gonna go back doing the same thing they was doing before they went to church most of the time. And I could talk about that because that's what I was doing. It's just for appearance only. And I went to church, and then I would go over my parents' house and just brag about we had this good service. But see, I wasn't changing myself. There was no change. There's no change, because had it been changed, I would not have been bragging about that. They didn't care if I just to come from church. They didn't care about that. They were just happy to see me. But I had to throw that up in their face. I've been to church. Look at y'all slackers. Look at y'all what is it? Y'all worldly. Y'all didn't go to church today. And God said that, don't do that. Don't do that. You have no right to, because you did go to church, but what did you learn? Apparently you didn't learn anything from today's message, because you turning around and doing the opposite of what my word would say to do. And that wasn't a way to get their attention. That wasn't a way to make them want to go to church. They could care less. They was in their pajamas flipping the remote. Had the remote in their hand. So they didn't move them, quote unquote move them, because I had been to church. They didn't care. So we can reach a lot of people through being humble, through being ourself, our authentic self. God is not pleased when we're going around looking down on people and, deeming them lesser than we are. And you say, well, I'm not looking down on them, but you are, because you're placing yourself higher than them, because you ain't even arrived. None of us have arrived, but we're still a work in progress. And that's not that's not an excuse to sin. That's not an excuse to do what you want to do down here. But I'm saying it's the truth. It's the truth. But we got to get out, again, we got to get out of our own way. We got to quit making excuses for stuff that we continue to do over and over and over and over. That's what's going on with this world today. That's why it's a lot of people, they do not want to hear nothing about Jesus, because they say y'all do the same stuff we do. What's different? Why do I want to go where you're going and I don't even see no change in you? That's where the disconnect is, and they're not even interested. People, they don't even want to hear you talk about Jesus. They don't want to hear nothing about it because of what they see, the lifestyle you live. And it could be somebody that's in your family, somebody that's at your job, somebody that is in your neighborhood. They're watching you to see how you treat people and stuff. But if you cussing and fussing and trying to fight at the drop of a hat, you trying to you fornicating, they know you doing all this stuff, worldly stuff. They like, why I want to listen to you? Why do I want to listen to you again? Tell me again why I want to listen to you. So I'm just thankful, y'all. I really am. How God has changed I did it. I'm gonna go to the one over here. I did. That was my whole purpose. I do need to go to the Dollar Tree because I need to get shower curtains. I like getting these shower curtains because they're cheap and they last a long time. The ones I get last a long time. That's what I knew. It's like, what is it that I'm trying to go to Dollar Tree so bad for? That's what it is. So I'm gonna have to go. Still gotta go. Still gotta make another stop. I knew it was something. Just couldn't remember what it was. So yeah, trying to think, y'all, so I can get in the right lane. I think if I go straight, I need to go straight. Because the Dollar Tree I'm going to is near where we live. But I have to be in the right, trying to think which lane I need to be in so I can get there. Well, actually, let's see. Yeah, I need to turn right up here. And then put me on the street to get there. So yeah, because it's weird because the way I'm coming from now to get to this Dollar Tree, it's a highway. It's off a highway, so you have to be, or else, the other way I was thinking about going, I'm gonna bypass it. So I have to. That's what I was trying to think of. But yeah, people don't want to hear nothing you have to say if they call you a hypocrite, and they say get out of my face because you're not talking about nothing. I don't want to hear nothing you have to say. And in a way, they have a right. They're well within their right to say that because who you say you love and honor, you're not living a lifestyle for him. So they have a right to say that. They do. They really do. But I'm just, like I said, I can't say it enough, y'all. I'm so thankful and grateful to Jesus for saving my soul. I tell him so many times a day, I thank him for being, for who he is in my life and for helping me when family turned their back on me, when family laughing at you, and they, like I said, I've shared this before so many times. Family don't even care. Your own family members could care less if you living or dying, spiritually. They don't care because they not living a life that they need to be living. So they sure don't care about you. But we just gotta. That's why we gotta pick up our Bible for ourselves and get in the Word for ourselves. Quit leaning and depending on your pastor to tell you everything. Quit leaning, because there's some people. I'm trying to think who said that. It was a pastor who said it, but they say some of y'all Bibles is telling the truth. Because that was me. See, I can laugh at this stuff. I can relate to it because that was once upon a time it was me. And I ain't afraid to talk about it and to admit to it. But he said, some of y'all Bibles don't get open back up again until next Sunday. And I said, that is so true. Oh, that's the truth. And it's, the truth hurts, but we need to hear it. We so need to hear it. And it's so true. And in my case, I was looking for the Bible. I couldn't find my Bible. Why? Because wherever I put it that Sunday when we got out of church, I put it either it'll be upstairs somewhere in the bedroom, or it'll be somewhere, sometimes wherever I would sit down at, so sometimes be in my bedroom if I went straight upstairs from church when we got home, or it would be maybe on the kitchen counter. Then I move it to, but it'll just be all over the place, because I wasn't gonna read it again. So it'll just be wherever I, if I was talking to someone, it'll be in that room, on that table or wherever, chair or whatever. Then I, sometimes I just periodically move it during that week. But it wasn't being read. It was not being read. That was a fact. So God got away, y'all. He got away. Getting our attention. And I'm so thankful I listened to him. I'm so thankful and grateful. So yeah, we just had a really good conversation, and me and the lady, and she said we're gonna have to get together for brunch or lunch. I said, yeah, we're gonna have to do that. And because I was at brunch with another lady from church, and at a restaurant here. And so the lady who I was talking to today, her and her brother, they came in. They were in there. They were actually leaving, and we had just started eating, but they were leaving. And so we sort of, hey, and so we were sort of laughing and stuff about that. But I think I still came the wrong way, y'all. I did. What am I thinking about? Yep, I came too far down. I don't even know why I came this way. What was I thinking about? Yeah, the Dollar Tree is back. I'm gonna just turn around. I came too far down. The Dollar Tree is back that way. I was just trying to think. That's what I kept. It's so weird where it's located. No, I need to get my son a case from Five Below. I don't know why I did that. I'm nowhere near the Dollar Tree. I don't know what I was thinking about. Why did I come all the way over here? I'm just so out of the way from the Dollar Tree. I'm like so away from it. I've come too far down. I'm just trying to figure out, because this little outlet that I'm about to go to, I think you can only turn right. It's so weird. I don't know what I was thinking about. Oh, I know what I should have done. I should have turned right with that light. Yeah, that's what it was. I was thinking. I wasn't thinking. That was the problem. I hate when I have to backtrack, y'all. I don't like that. So I'm like, why did I even come this way? So what I'm gonna have to do is, because I can't, right here where I'm at, I can't go left. So I'm gonna have to go back right, and then I'm gonna have to go straight. Well, actually, I can go left. I'm gonna go left, and then that should put me back where I need to be. These cars are going so fast. It's a highway, but you think you have time to jump out there, but I've learned not to do that, because they coming quicker than what you think they are, and you get out there and they right on your bumper and they mad. So I would rather wait. I just did an order. I see where the DoorDash are having to replace something. It irritates me when they replace stuff, because I have my mindset on what I'm gonna receive, but like I said, some of these, me and my daughter was talking about that last night. Some of these DoorDashers, and it's no shade or anything, but it's the truth. Because I'm like, if I go in that store right now, I probably would be able to get all those items. You know, I don't think that some of them, because they're in a hurry. They're just trying to hurry up and, get in and get out. And I feel like they're not paying attention to detail. They looking, but they not looking. That's what I feel like. And they, they're just trying to, and my youngest daughter, we were talking about that. She said, yeah, Mama said, I feel like they also trying to get to the next order, the next money. I said, yeah, that could be it too. But they just not, they're just so quick. They're trying to hurry up and do it. And so that's not paying attention to detail. That's what that is. But it's okay. I mean, I didn't have to go get it myself, but I just rather, especially if it's certain things that I'm looking to receive that I paid for, I really don't like it when they have to be replaced. I don't like that part, but I can't complain because I didn't have to go get it myself. But at the same time, I would like for my order to be what I want. I want it to be what I want it to be, but it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I came down way too far. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm gonna have to backtrack to get to this Dollar Tree. And I was actually closer to it where I was at initially. I don't know why I did that. It was just so unnecessary to come all the way where I came. See, I think I've gotten so used to where to go here. Sometimes I still need Google Maps. Still need it. Oh, they're going to time for a garage sale. I ain't gonna stop and do that today because I'll do that on Saturday. I'm trying to get home so I'm gonna have salmon and rice and biscuits. So I'm trying to get home so I can fix this. Shouldn't take long. So yeah, I'm just thankful, and I pray you all are too. It's just really good to go and get fed God's holy word, to not only get fed the word, but to live his word, to get it, that's what I really enjoy doing. And like I said, the pastor was talking about too, said a lot of people, they're struggling with so much regret and guilt, things that they have done, in their past and stuff. And that's one thing, I can honestly say, God has delivered me from so much. And I'm quick to say, yeah, I've been molested. Yeah, I used to fornicate. Yeah, I used to sleep around. So I'm not, God has already placed, but there was a time when I didn't have a relationship with Jesus that I was ashamed to talk. I was telling her, I would get on Facebook. That's when I was on Facebook, and I would leave out all of that stuff, the ugly stuff. I show pictures of my happy, quote unquote, happy life. I show pictures of my children. Oh, we just doing so good over here. We got it all. We just got it going on. I show, edit out, crop out certain stuff in the picture, and make sure the picture was just right on, just perfect, almost perfect, but just pretending, living a fake life. That's what I was doing, not being honest, truthful. But I don't live that way anymore. And like I said, I'm not ashamed to tell people what I used to do. But the people here, the people that I'm sharing it with here, They don't even care. They don't even care about none of that. They honestly don't. I was talking to somebody at my job. It's been a while ago, and I told them, I said, if you, they were saying something, they were saying how nice I was or something, and I said, if you, you have no idea, the type of person I used to be, and I said, that's why I'm so thankful and grateful. And they said, really? So you weren't always like how you are? And I said, nope. You know, and they said, what? I said, no, I wasn't. And I said, God has changed me, and He continues to change me. But they were just so whatever about that. But I was like, yeah. And I said, it's just His amazing love in my life that's helping me every day to become better and better and better, So, yeah, it was like they were just so taken away by, this is what, so you were not always like this? I said, never. No. But, but there's some people, they relocate to another place or state, whatever, and they pretending even more. It's on 100 then, because see, nobody there knows them, so they can lie, they can make up stuff, they can fake it, they can do all that. Because see, who's gonna hold them accountable? Who's gonna say that ain't you, or that's a lie? Because nobody knows them there in that place. Some people actually live that type of life. They go, they say, they pick up and leave, and they go to another, city, state, whatever, and they say, well, I'm gonna start fresh. And they go there, and instead of them changing to be better, they're even worse. They're even worse than when they was in the old place, old town. They're even worse. But yeah, like I said, I want to be better in Christ. That faking and stuff, at the time when you don't have a relationship with Jesus, and when you don't have a desire to have a relationship with Him, you don't care about that. That stuff is fun, but it ain't fun. It ain't fun to me anymore. Because I want to be better. Yeah. And since I want to become better in Him, and I want to live better in Him, then that is no longer a desire for me to pretend, to speak untruths, to, fabricate stories and stuff. Why would I want to do that? Jesus is the truth. He's the truth, the way, and the life. So why would I want to do anything contrary to how He is? So yeah, that's what it was, y'all. I was trying to remember to come here to get the shower curtains. And I ain't no shame about that. I love the Dollar Tree. My daughter said, Mama, when they gonna close the Dollar Tree down? I said, I hope they never do. Because that's my little store. And stuff really, y'all, it really ain't cheap here. It's not. It's just, you thinking you getting stuff, but it ain't cheap. Still, because I get up to the register and still spending $35, $40, so it ain't too cheap. But I still get some good deals here. This is where I get a lot of my cleaning items and stuff like that. I get our soap here. They have some good items. They have actually upgraded. They've actually they just got, they've upped it, amped it up. They have some good stuff at the Dollar Tree. In this location that I'm at now, I like going to the one I always go to, which is near the church we go to, but I really like this one because it's, can I park right here? Yeah, I think I can. Ooh, look at God, y'all. I'm parked right by the door. I love this place right here. It's hard to get this space because somebody's always right here. But I think let me straighten up. Y'all, Remember I told y'all that's my pet peeve is when somebody ain't come outside and somebody ain't parked right. Oh, I don't like that. Cause I'm like, okay, how I'm gonna open my door? And how I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna do a lot of stuff if you're not even parked right. But yeah, I like the other Dollar Tree because I know where. I mean, I'm so used to going in that one, but that one is not in a really good side of town. But I mean, I go in there anyway. It don't bother me. But God out protects me. But I like coming to this one because one is closer to where we live, and then I've sort of gotten familiar with this one too. This one is where I was coming. I was coming to this one. I'm trying to think. What was I? Well, I started out when we first moved into this condo we're in now. I said, oh yeah, it's a Dollar Tree by where we live, but I still preferred the other one because I would go to that one. Whenever oh, 3 little girls, they so pretty. Oh, beautiful. But I would come to here every now and then. But now I go, the other one, like I said, is closer to the church. That's why I sort of find myself coming to this one a lot. I mean, going to that one a lot, but either one is fine. I mean, I don't. But this one can get super busy because people, there's a lot of activity going on around here in this little plaza. So a lot of people, they're going in here too because tomorrow, school out tomorrow, and then the other thing is people buying stuff for Labor Day. I just thought about that. That's why it's crowded in here too. Cause I'm like, why are these people going in here? But I'm gonna go ahead and get the shower curtains, and I was gonna get some more chips. Cause I was gonna. That's what they get. They're getting stuff for tomorrow for Labor Day. And then I was gonna get some what was the other thing I was gonna get? We don't really need. I'm trying to think. Do we need more? We do need some more soap. Trying to think. Yeah, I was just gonna. Oh, that's what I was gonna get. Oh, I forgot about that. I may just get. I need to make a list, y'all, because I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna be all over the place. Yeah, I was gonna make baked beans, potato salad for tomorrow, and just have they can have hot dogs. That's what I was gonna. Yeah, but I forgot to add that to my order for today for the DoorDash. So I'm gonna write that down. I'm going here. So we already got now I'll get me some fish sticks. But so we have baked beans, potato salad, and I don't think we got eggs. We got potatoes, we got mustard, and we got onions, so we should be okay with that. Shower curtain, we need 2 of those, and then I think we need some more ketchup. We got a whole brand new thing of mustard. The other thing that goes in what is it? It's something else that goes in potato salad. It's the mustard. Oh, I can't think right now. Oh yeah, I was gonna get some chips. And that's it, I guess. That's all we need. And we got something to drink there, but No hot dog buns. Because I think it's still some hot dogs there. If it's not, I may have to DoorDash tomorrow, but I think it's hot dogs. It's a whole pack of hot dogs there. Because I don't eat hot dogs. They eat that, but so I'm gonna get in here and hopefully it's not a long line. I can't see in this door, but hopefully it's not. Okay, y'all, I'm back. This was the last stop for this day. I gotta get home and cook something to eat. I'm getting hungry myself. I just come out of Pet. I always want to say Petco. It's PetSmart. So I got our puppy another leash. I hope I got the right size. It's 6 feet, but I always don't get that right. But we'll see. I think it should be okay. This is his leash here, and then 6 feet should be more than enough. But anyway, and I got him this right here, spoiled dog, because that's exactly what he is. And these are called dip slices. So it's banana with chicken and peanut butter flavor. So I got him, I don't know if y'all can see that. I got him this. Let me see. So these look, I'm sure he gonna like all his treats. He normally this a upgrade, upstage. He normally get treats from Dollar Tree, but that water back there. But I just went ahead and since I was in there, because I had the PetSmart is just down the way from Dollar Tree, so I've been debating on getting him another leash, but I'm pretty sure this should be more than enough room. I'm thinking. My daughter, they gonna tell me. If not, I will have to take it back and exchange it. But I think this should be okay. Well, actually, now that I'm looking at it, y'all, I don't think this is the right size. I don't know. They'll tell me. I may have to take it back and exchange it. I can never get this right. When I started, that's why I always like to wait. I may get my son to come back down here and exchange it. Now that I think about it, did she give me a receipt? Yeah. Or if I don't exchange it today, if I need to, I'll come back and exchange it another day. But I can't, like I say, I can never get that right, but I'm looking at the thing. I think the part that needs to go around his head is too small. I don't think that's I didn't get the right one. And that's why some of them, they are different prices, because there's some that one was 24 and some is 30, so I probably should have got the one that was 30. So I think that part goes around his head. But yeah, now that I think about it, I think I got the wrong size. So anyway, I'll probably take it. If I have to exchange it, I'll exchange it sometime next week. It ain't gonna be today. That's why I always like my son to go get it, or have one of the children with me, because I get so excited when I go in there and I don't pay attention to what I need to pay attention to. But it's okay. We'll get it right. We'll get the right size. But I've been debating for some weeks now. I go in the Dollar Tree and I come out and I say, well, you need a new leash. And I say, well, I'll wait. But actually, though, I think that may work, because he has a collar. He got a dog collar. And that will only just latch on to that. So I think that may be okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. And I'm thinking about it. Yeah, he has that is just the leash. So, and I was gonna get him a new collar, but I'm like, gosh, you come in here, you better have some money. I mean, you go in there, you better have some money for your a dog, because cat too, because all that stuff is expensive. The collar, but you don't need a new collar. The collar was they were $15, and I started to get him the new one to match that one, the leash, but I was like, nope, he don't even need a new one. So like I said, that spending wisely, I try to practice that as much as I can. And I need to get my son a case, because he's walking around with that brand new phone, and all it's gonna take is for him to drop it, and it's gonna be cracked all to pieces. So I gotta do that. Ready to go home, y'all. So I got one more stop. I'm gonna go to Five Below. He said, Mama, why you didn't get me the cases when you and the girls? I said, because I was when I usually get y'all a case, y'all complain about you don't like it, or it ain't the color you wanted. He said, well, you could have just got me basic black. And I said, yeah, I could have. I sure could have. But I said, again, y'all complain when I buy something and I try to go ahead and surprise you. You complain about, well, I don't want that. It ain't the right color. But I was looking at him holding his phone the other night. I don't think he got a case on his phone. But they only $5, so if he do, it'll be a backup for my phone. It won't go to waste. Let me hurry up and do this, y'all. I'm like, I can't get home today for some reason. Oh yeah, I was able to get the shower curtains. That was my whole goal in going to the Dollar Tree, so I did get those. I'm just getting really hungry now. Let's sit down and eat. I haven't had anything. I brought that rice bar to church with me this morning, but I didn't. It's a health bar, but I didn't eat it. I meant to eat it on the way to church, but I've just been drinking my tea. So, I feel like today is Saturday. I was stopping at all these different stores. Good grief. But I'm just trying to, remember stuff, because he has to work tomorrow, so just trying to get him stuff I know he needs, because he's not gonna get it himself. So, but I was in the Dollar Tree, and it was the cutest 3 little girls. I mentioned that they were going in the store, so I ended up being on the same aisle with them. Oh my gosh, they were adorable. And the little one, she was just cute as she could be. She was gorgeous. They're like they were probably, that little one, like she may have been 2, 3, maybe 3, something like that. They were so cute. I was like, they're adorable. Everybody come in this store because the stuff, items are so cheap. But if you're not careful, you'll still end up spending a lot of money. Because if you coming in here getting a lot of stuff, that's how they get you. They say, well, it's just $5 or, but if you get more than if you're getting 4 or 5 items, that's $20, $30 it's already spent. So let me go in here, y'all. It's the last stop. Well, that was the last stop, y'all. I ended up getting I got my son this case right here. I hope he likes it. It's basic black for his phone. And then I ended up getting It's called Sweet Treat Caramel Mousse. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, that's what it say. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it smells good. And it seems like I've smelled that scent on a lady at our church. I believe that's what she wears, or if she don't, it's something similar to it, because it smelled, when I sprayed it, I was like, that smells like what she be wearing, and she wears it all the time, and that's why it's so familiar with, I'm so familiar with that scent. But anyway, I just got that because I'm sort of low on perfume. My youngest daughter, she been using. It was a time I had like 3 or 4 bottles of it, but yeah, I got low. So next time when I go in there, I'll buy probably 2. I mean, I don't like buy that, if I don't need it, I don't buy it. So that perfume, it lasts me a while. That perfume lasts a while. So yeah, I don't really buy it unless I just I'm almost out. And I am almost out. So anyway, that's why I got some. So got some more that was on my mind to get. So I did good. But they had a lot of, like I said, a lot of people are shopping because of Labor Day tomorrow. They're going to be doing cookouts and stuff. So that's why these stores are so crowded. And then they having sales through Labor Day sales. So we're going to be at home cooling. Sleep in. Watching what I watch on YouTube and just enjoying the day. I'm not gonna be. But I was telling one of my coworkers, I was telling her, I said, we were talking Friday, and I said, back in Tennessee, right now people grilling out there on the lake, they on the dam, they just preparing for tomorrow. Some of them, they've been preparing for tomorrow, but they're getting ready. The women getting their sides ready, baked beans and potato salad, rolls and all that stuff. They getting ready, y'all. But I can say it's different here. I mean, people. There's some people that still, they still cook out and stuff like that, but it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal how it is in the South. And I think more so here, people, they go fishing and they do different stuff because it's more outdoorsy here, So it's not just eat, grill in your backyard and go back in the house, eat some more and go to sleep. No, it's just a different vibe here, and I like that. But, yeah, it's, they grill out, of course they grill out and cook and stuff here, but, and that's one thing when we moved into that house, the rental home, when we first moved here, I was sort of looking around and I was noticing even the people who were next door to us, there was this black couple, and I was looking at them and I was like, everybody got a grill but us. And so, I don't think we ever owned a grill. Even when my late husband was living, we just always, went over someone's house, they grilled, or well, I take that back. I think we did. When the kids were younger, I think we did have a grill. Yeah, it was a small one. But yeah, that's like an investment here. You make sure you got you a grill that's on your back porch or your back side of your house, and it's covered up. They protect that, because a lot of them grills they expensive. I've seen the Blackstone one. I've seen what's another one? Whatever the brands are. They not they nice, but it's like I said, it's like an investment. But yeah, I was telling my children, I said, we need to get us a grill. But we never, when we moved, we were in that home, we never got one. And we had a really nice deck at that house, but we just didn't utilize it because, I don't know, I just didn't I'm not I like sitting on the back porch. I like, looking out at people and, cars go by and stuff like that. But that deck that we had at that house was, I had the money when we first moved in there. I could have really, made it nice and stuff. But it was a real nice big backyard, and our puppy, he loved it. But I never felt attached to that house. I never felt like, okay, this is our home, we're gonna be in for a long time. I didn't feel that. I felt like, it was a very nice home, but it did need work on it. And I feel like God did not want us to get comfortable in that house, because he had other things he wanted us to get to. And that's just the danger of complacency. This is my youngest son. He said, "Mom, I don't think we're supposed to ever leave that house." I said, "Well, maybe not, but eventually we were gonna need to leave, because that was not our home. It's not our forever home. That was just somewhere where God opened that door for us to have a place to live. And if nothing else, that home was for my daughter, so she could go to that school she went to, because the school that she attended in her junior and senior year was literally down the street from that house. So see, that's purpose. It was meant. It had to be that way. But I believe now that I think back on that, thank you, Jesus. It served its purpose. And then even when in her senior year, we had moved out of that house when she was getting ready to start her senior year. And we were like 30 minutes out from that house. And even in my desperation, I told her, I said, I don't know what Mama was thinking, because, if I had just sat down and I wasn't thinking, I was all over the place. But if I had really been thinking, I would have been like, yeah, we can't move over here, because that was a long way from that school. And I had to go pick her up, and I had to go to work. We moved farther from. I got closer to my job, but I got farther from her school. So, yeah. But I hope you all have enjoyed this vlog. I pray you all are having a beautiful, blessed day in the mighty name of Jesus. I'm almost home, and I am so thankful, and I pray you all are too. I love you, but remember, Jesus loves you so much more. Bye-bye.